It has been a long time, a very long time, since I last made a video on photography. This is largely because I just ran out of things to say. Well, what more can you say than smartphones are far better for photography than cameras, and they're always with me, always in my pocket. What's the point of having a camera anymore? You know, I used to enjoy having a camera. And somebody told me I could make money from selling photographs and blah 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 blah. And it just wasn't true. I think most of the people that call themselves photographers and set up businesses like I did find that it's more a hobby than an actual business. I had a lot of fun, but paying clients, not very many. Certainly not enough to make it worthwhile. Not even worth having a business license. And to be honest, business license just made things more complicated. So, I haven't updated my photography blog in a long time. That's because I have nothing interesting to write about photography anymore. I moved on. I went back to my origins, which is really computing. And I am thoroughly enjoying playing with a Raspberry Pi, developing some new products. And the first one is going to be an emergency radio. And I look at the situation in the world today and it's pretty horrible. It really is horrible. We have war in Ukraine. It is actually the start of the Third World War, because although it is allegedly between Russia and Ukraine, all the NATO countries are pouring arms and ammunition into Ukraine and supporting Ukraine. It is not a local war anymore. It is a world war. The only thing that hasn't happened is other countries haven't joined in on either side, but it is Third World War by proxy, no doubt about that. Whether it will go all out, I don't know. I do know there are shortages everywhere worldwide. We have a disease rampant worldwide. We are also overdue for another Carrington event. Now, the Carrington event was in about 100 years ago, and that was more than 100 years ago, maybe 150 years ago, I'm not sure. But it was a solar storm with sunspots and whatnot, which basically blew up anything electrical. We could have that happen again, in which case there will be no satellites doing anything. This is where my emergency radio comes in, and if you're out hiking and you're lost or injured, you're going to need a way of communicating with people miles and miles and miles away, and my emergency radio will do that automatically for you. It will run from the sun. It will be totally solar powered. Just open it like a book. Solar panel opens, powers itself. The on-off switch is the solar panel. Raise the aerial and it starts broadcasting a location, if possible. If not, just let people find it by triangulation, and it will just keep broadcasting a distress signal until it is closed or until the sun goes down, and then the next morning when the sun comes up it will start broadcasting again. Something that will not rely on a battery, don't have to rely on a battery to be fresh. All very simple stuff. Main components are a little radio transmitter and a microcontroller and some of my own software that I have generated. It's programmed in Python, so yes, it can probably be disassembled fairly easily. Heck, I might not even bother compiling it, just let it run as an interpreter, should be just fine. Anyway, oh, and finally, YouTube and monetization. I don't give a rat's backside about monetization, and in fact this guns t-shirt should persuade YouTube not to monetize. Anyway, who wants to buy any of the stinking products advertised on YouTube or anywhere else? And if it's advertised online, it's something wrong with it. And seriously, if you've got to plug a product that's in order to sell it, it must be pretty pathetic. Anyway, there we go. That's about all I got for you today. Next video I'll probably start talking in more detail about the electronics. This is just testing out my video making system, my video making setup. And and don't bother subscribing. Subscribe if you want. I don't really care. I'm not chasing after subscriber numbers. I'm not chasing after money. In fact, I'll be very upset if YouTube starts putting adverts on this, because I don't want adverts. I am not supporting any little shyster that's trying to sell you some kind of garbage or other. And most of the adverts, well, if you heard Elon Musk the other day, he said there's nothing in the YouTube advertising that he's come across that hasn't been entirely fraudulent. Well, I don't know. I don't watch much YouTube, and when I do, I use an ad blocker. And I do notice that there are plenty of adverts online, and I wouldn't buy a damn thing that I saw advertised. All looks fishy. So that's all I've got for you today, and I'll talk to you again.